Welcome to the Wendy Sashimi podcast, where I keep it raw and real. Hey everyone, I'm Wendy. I'll do a brief intro for my new listeners. Reigning from Oakland, Cali, I moved to Seattle a month ago after quitting my corporate tech job to truly live the life the way I want and pursue content creation. What type of content am I creating? For this podcast, I want to inspire you to live your most authentic life and truth. The more we live a misaligned life, i.e., working at a job you hate that doesn't align with your values, doing things only to please others, the more your body and soul suffers, and going day by day like a zombie. That's not how we should live our lives, our one life. Follow me on my journey to prove that you can live a full, authentic life and finance it. Everything I say on this podcast are opinions of my own from my own experiences. I may not be an expert at certain topics, but I am an expert at my own life. I'm 36 years old, turning 37 next month. Woo woo, Virgos to the front. I used to dread aging, but now I celebrate it more than ever since one of my best friends died of liver cancer suddenly last year at the age of 34. Aging is a privilege, especially with all the shit going on. You never know what could happen today, tomorrow, the next. So you owe it to yourself to do the things that you've always wanted to do and not hold yourself back. If you feel like no one believes in you, I believe in you. Let's get it. Hey! I'm proud to say that today we're on season 4, episode 2, Take the Big Leap. I'm super proud that we've hit season 4. I've had 8 episodes in each season. 8 was just like a magical number I came up with and it seemed like enough. 5 was a little too short. 10 was too much. But if you haven't listened to any of my previous episodes, feel free to go back and listen to those. You don't have to listen to that to catch up to know what I'm talking about in this one. Each episode is unique and on their own topic. So I may talk about mental health, being queer, Asian, etc. Just a bunch of things that I think are important to talk about. You can listen or watch this episode on Spotify or YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, like, feel free to comment any questions, feedback, or gas me up, baby. Let's go. In this episode, I'll give you an update on my 9 months since quitting my corporate tech job, what I've been up to, how I'm balancing my finances, if I found my wife, etc. The title of this episode is based on a book I read recently called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. The Big Leap is about conquering your hidden fear and taking life to the next level. Here's what folks had to say about it. In The Big Leap, New York Times bestselling author Gay Hendricks reveals a simple yet comprehensive program for overcoming our one barrier to happiness and fulfillment, providing a clear path for achieving our true potential and attaining not only financial success, but also success in love and life. Gay Hendricks is a great role model for true success. He enjoys abundance and a deep connection with his own spiritual essence, and at the same time has lived for 3 decades in a thriving marriage. Now he shows us how to do it for ourselves. This book inspired me during this time of my life to take risks and tap into my zone of genius, which I'll be talking more about later. It's July 2026, 9 months since quitting my corporate tech job at Google. I worked at Google for 8 years, 2 years as a contractor in recruiting, and 6 years as an admin business partner, abbreviated as ABP. What are ABPs? They're executive assistants / project managers. I was an engineer, so I wasn't making the major bucks, but I made quite a bit, at almost $200K a year with a base salary, bonuses, and stocks. Despite layoffs, I left a pretty stable job. Fight me on this, but AI cannot replace a really good ABP. Ask any executive with a really good ABP. ABPs are time management consultants and the backbone of every team. They are why important meetings happen and we love meetings and meetings for meetings. Sarcasm. I hated meetings. They always seem to pull off successful events that sometimes involved thousands of Googlers from all over the world. So shout out to the ABPs of tech and any industry. In The Big Leap, Gay talks about 4 different zones. 1, your zone of incompetence, activities we're not good at. He said that a lot of people actually spend too much time in this zone. For me, I was like, wouldn't you know what you're not good at and not do it? But anyway. 2, your zone of competence, activities you do well, but others can do them as well. So nothing special about it, but you're competent in it. 3, your zone of excellence, activities you do extremely well and make a good living from it. Maybe those of you who are more established in your careers, you're really good at doing this, and maybe you're happy doing that. But I feel like a lot of people I know, including myself in my previous role, I was in my zone of excellence, but I wasn't happy. I feel like I wasn't truly tapping into what I was really meant to do, leading to number 4, zone of genius. Liberating and expressing your natural genius is your ultimate path to success and life satisfaction. Your zone of genius is the set of activities you are uniquely suited to do. They draw upon your special gifts and strengths. In your zone of genius, you serve yourself and others. So this is the goal. This is what I'm trying to get to. I think I'm probably kind of in it, but I'm trying to embrace more of it. And I think me kind of unlearning the system or just unlearning to be too comfortable in my zone of excellence and truly tap into my zone of genius. That's where I feel like I'm at now. In my zone of genius, thinking about my strengths, I know that I'm really good at connecting with people. I'm good at making people laugh. I'm good at organizing events. So I was thinking along the lines of creating more spaces where people can get deep, vulnerable, and harness connection. Okay, well, that's pretty breakthrough because I think I've known that, but I never really said it out loud. See, this is why I have a podcast, so I could be like, ooh. Yeah, if you're wondering what your strengths are, write it out. Ask your friends. Most likely, you know what it is from your performance reviews from work. Ask your boss, your colleagues, but I think ask your friends. They know what your strengths are, especially the ones who have seen you for years. They can usually tell you what they are. So find out what that is from other people and really tap into that. Let's get in it, our zone of genius. So as I mentioned in my previous role, I was in my zone of excellence. I did my job very well. My executives and teams loved me. For the past 2 cycles, I received the highest performance review rating, which is the top 3% of my team, which is extremely hard when you're being compared to your other Google colleagues who have master degrees from Harvard, Stanford, and work from the moment they wake up until they go to sleep. I mean, to be honest, I had a very cush life at Google. I worked with really great people, getting fed breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner, gym after work sometimes, free concerts back in the day, and having the Rolls Royce of benefits. So why would I leave all of that? I knew I wanted more. I was over the office politics and tech becoming more about profits than people. I guess it's always been about that, but working in tech, I don't think we saw it as clearly until after the pandemic. I felt misaligned with my values, using AI for military use, laying off people constantly while the company still made billions. Feeling misaligned and burnt out gave me health problems for 3 years, gastritis, and not being able to sleep properly for months. to the point where I thought I had a brain tumor. Thankfully, I got an MRI and my brain's totally fine. When you do things that are not aligned with who you are, the more your body will tell you. Listen to your body. It is the vessel that carries you every day. Finally, after 3 years, I listened to my body. Because if I continued, I wouldn't be here. And that is not the way I want to go out. When I'm 80 or 90 years old, whatever the age is when I'm ready to go on my deathbed, I want to have a huge orgy with gorgeous women. And that's how I want to meet my grandma, grandpa, and Bravo in heaven. Ay. After my friend died of cancer, I questioned, is this the way I want to live the rest of my life? No. I want to be free. I had all of these creative juices inside of me for years, and I suppressed it to live a safe and stable life. Which is, I know it sounds crazy, especially in this economy. I realized I wasn't happy. When that happened last July, exactly a year ago, I made a plan to change that. I calculated my finances, planned to be off at most a year, set out to travel more, spend more time with my loved ones, rest, and get my sleep and health back. And then just figure it out along the way. So here I am, 9 months later. Do I regret losing 200K plus? Okay, maybe a little bit, but no. Like I said, I may not still be here if I continued, or I'd be in this vicious cycle of unhappiness. I know that I'm privileged with no dependents and only have to think for myself. My Cambodian ancestors suffered so that I can live my best life. I thank Google for giving me the luxuries of life and building the skill sets that I have now. I thank 35-year-old Wendy for working hard for me to be where I am now. In a new apartment in Seattle, after 8 hours of good sleep, eating delicious avocado toast, and going shopping later. In the book, Gay also talks about upper limiting behaviors that may have been developed during your childhood or past that keep you from being in your zone of genius, which is like worrying too much. Like, if I did this, what if I fail? Blah, blah, blah. Blame, criticism, hiding your true feelings. I mean, we can probably think of a bunch of things that are upper limiting behaviors. And the first step is to acknowledge them, but also say, hey, thanks for trying to protect me in survival mode, but I don't need you right now. I'm trying to be in my zone of genius. I'm trying to live a life of immense love, abundance, and motherfucking money. So in The Big Leap, he talks about 4 barriers being of false beliefs. 1, the first barrier is the false belief that we are fundamentally flawed in some way. If we carry this feeling within us, we sabotage our success because we think we're essentially bad. If something good happens, we must mess it up to offset it because good things can't happen to bad people. How many of y'all have been in good relationships with a good person, but you have a little tinglingness of little toxica comes up, like, this is way too good to be true. Let me sabotage it. And then you ruin the relationship or do things that would sabotage it. For me recently, I've had a lot of good, great things happen. And to be honest, I haven't had good things happen to me consecutively without something bad happening for a while. Like when I got a new role at Google, I got the role that morning, and then later that night, Bravo called me that he had liver cancer. Anyway, trauma like that really gets to me. So naturally, my nervous system was like, oh, too much good is happening. Something bad is going to happen. Or maybe I should do something so that something bad can happen. It's kind of crazy how your nervous system works like that. But I am regulating my nervous system and learning to really just chill the fuck out. Enjoying the good that's coming into my life and be more abundant in that and really soak that in and not worry about what bad stuff's going to happen. 2, the second barrier is the false belief that by succeeding, we are being disloyal to and leaving behind people in our past. If we harbor this feeling within us, we sabotage our success because we think it's disloyal to our roots to soar too far into the stratosphere. Not my problem. My Cambodian ancestors would be pleased that I am thriving, baby. 3, the third barrier is the false belief that we are a burden in the world. If we carry this feeling inside us, we sabotage our success so that we won't be a bigger burden. 4, the fourth barrier is the false belief that we must dim the bright lights of our brilliance so that we won't outshine someone in our past. If we hold this feeling inside us, we tend to hold ourselves back from expressing the full potential of our innate genius. And this fourth barrier, I feel like I sometimes feel that way when I'm in a room filled with people I don't know. And if we're doing like group activities or even just like sharing stuff, sometimes I find myself holding myself back to not be too out there or outshine people or seem like too much. But now I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to share what I'm going to share. And I mean, not in a like super braggy way. I always go by, if I'm too much, go find less. You have every agency to choose how you want to live your life. I know in this economy, it's hard, and everyone has different circumstances. If you're not trying to survive a genocide, you have agency. But I hope you don't waste your life on being misaligned with yourself and being unhappy. What are you waiting for? Step into your power. Live life with the most abundance, love, and money. Fight your upper limiting beliefs and take the big leap. Thank y'all so much for listening. Please subscribe, follow, like, comment, and share with anyone you think would benefit from hearing this episode. If you feel like no one believes in you, I believe in you. Let's get it. Hey! Stay tuned for a new episode next Tuesday. Yes, I'm cranking out new episodes every Tuesdays. Love you. Peace easies. Wendy Sashimi.